to you.
Make a wish.
At the beginning of Operation Epic Fury, President Trump laid out clear objectives to the American people on what the U.S. military seeks to accomplish through these major combat operations.
Unfortunately, we have a president that thinks he's John Wayne, that he can move through the countryside, through the world, and do whatever he wants to do, the Constitution be damned. The founders of our Constitution, however, wanted to limit the president. They were very fearful of another king being installed in the country. They had just fought a war against a king and parliament that they thought were not only terrorists, but treacherous people.
For 47 years, these barbaric savages in the Iranian regime have murdered our brothers in arms, my guys, your guys, our guys.
And now we're using it. Unfortunately, we have to, but you're seeing how great it is. There's no military like it on earth, not even close. And we're doing very well in Iran. You see the result, and it's been amazing.
No, the future of Iran is going to be determined by the Iranian people. The new Iran, whatever it is.
The United States emerged as the most powerful nation on earth. But from the rubble rose a strange new world, a peace that was not peace, and a war that was not war.
You know, we'll stay around the country for 15 years, just bomb the hell out of everybody, make everybody miserable. Nobody knows why we're there, you know, the wars that never end.
So they wanted to make sure when they wrote the Constitution, the president would not be able to go about the world to in any way install a unilateral empirical presidency.
I guess I am most concerned about the threat to American lives of potentially deploying our sons and daughters on the ground in Iran. We seem to be on a path toward deploying American troops on the ground in Iran to accomplish any of the potential objectives here. And there is also, as disturbingly as anything else, the specter of active Russian aid to Iran, putting in danger American lives.
The Comprehensive Strategic Partnership Agreement between Russia and Iran replaces the old one signed in 2001. The pact focuses on security and defense, as well as economy and trade. Moscow and Tehran also agreed to conduct joint military exercises and expand military cooperation. But the pact doesn't include mutual defense guarantees, similar to the one Russia signed with North Korea.
But that's exactly what George Bush has tried to do, and he's done it very effectively. George Bush's doctrine preemptive military action, which he has from day one since 9/11, which he used against Iraq, is the idea that if a country does not stand with us completely, or they may be a threat to somebody in the world, not necessarily the United States, that we can move in, bomb them, take military action, wiping out the countryside, killing not only the so-called enemy, but innocent citizens as well. But in our Constitution, in Article 1, Section 8, it says very clearly that only Congress has the power to declare war.
And that's before we showed off our military strength with Venezuela and now with Iran. You know, Iran was supposed to be this big, powerful country. We wrapped the hell out of them. And, you know, I don't know when they cry uncle, but, and have we not done this one where we said, nope, it's time to go in, we have to go in, have no choice. Number one, if we didn't go in, they would have come in after us, because I see the Democrats trying to justify it, and they're failing because the voter on the street is saying, you gotta be kidding. But I see where they're going, where they're always saying, no, there was no reason. Well, I'll give you the best reason of all. Within a week, they were going to attack us 100%. They were ready. They had all these missiles, far more than anyone thought. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
As they salute, it would indicate that the first of the transfer cases is coming off of the C-17.
We pray that God blesses the families of the fallen here, and we pray that our nation reminds themselves to be grateful for the sacrifices that are made in the defense of this great nation.
Yeah, it's a reminder that freedom is not free.
So the founders of our country knew very well that in order for there to be any control in the country over a president, they had the power to do a number of things, but one of those was war. The founders of our Constitution were very wise. They knew if there was going to be any control over the so-called president, they needed to have control over a number of things. And there's a list of things in the Constitution, but one of them was, of course, to declare war, because if a president can just go around declaring war, there's no limit on what the president can do.
Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
The key to our constitutional system is the rule of the law. The president is supposed to represent the people and uphold the Constitution. He takes an oath to do that. When a president serves himself and breaks the rule of law, it is an impeachable offense. Under Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution, it says very clearly that high crimes and misdemeanors or treason is an impeachable offense. And at this particular point in time, if George Bush decides to unilaterally attack Iran, which again he's saber-rattling to do so, he is, in my opinion, committing an impeachable offense. Thankfully, there are some in Congress who are starting to see the light, our representatives. One is House Judiciary Chairman John Conyers, who wrote a letter to President Bush on May 8, 2008, in which he expresses concerns that the president should not unilaterally attack Iran, that this does raise itself up to an impeachable offense. Senator Joseph Biden has said the same thing, so there may be some hope.
Airstrikes on rebel position. We are going to stay.
What's happening?
Go. All right.
Is there any indication at this point that other superpowers, i.e. China, Russia, could get involved in this?
Beijing condemning the attacks earlier this week, now having to rely more on Russian oil due to massive supply disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz. China buys up to 80% of Iranian oil. Meanwhile, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that China is now accelerating production of submarines to attack the United States. closer to home.
Can you declare victory in this war if the supreme leader remains the Ayatollah's son?
I don't want to comment on that. I don't want to comment. But I will tell you, I just spoke with various countries, the leaders of various countries. You'll have a list. And they said they've never seen anything like it. We have, and I built it during my first term, and I used it. I didn't realize I was going to use it this much, but we have the greatest military in the world by far. Nobody close.
The talks touched on the situation in Syria and Gaza. Putin has emphasized that Russia is ready to help with the humanitarian aid to the Syrian people and invites the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas.